Hi, this is Chris Bianchi with Resolute Philanthropy, and coming to you today from my kitchen. Um, anyway, I wanted to talk to you about engaging your nonprofit board. I've talked about this in the past. I will undoubtedly talk about it in the future because your board is such a critical component of your nonprofit's success, not just in fundraising, but in the whole operation. But there's a lot of things we do that hurts our ability to have a high functioning, successful, engaged board. And I want to share three quick ideas with you today about different ways you can think about working with your board. The first is stop calling it the board. It's easy to treat them as a collective, to send an email to the board, to talk about how the board is not fundraising. And ultimately, while that's a helpful shorthand, it doesn't actually help you build better relationships, nor does it really help you get the best performance out of board members that you may want. Think about them as individuals. Create individual cultivation and stewardship plans for every member of your board and build those individual relationships. Sometimes we assume that because they're board members, they know all they need to know and they feel taken care of, and they certainly know how much we support and appreciate them. That's a pretty big assumption to make. So treat them like individuals and make time and make strategy to connect with them as individuals. Second, don't assume that your board knows what they need to do. Don't assume that they understand what to do when you say, please help me with fundraising. Make your expectations crystal clear with your board. And these clear expectations can be part of your board recruitment and onboarding process. These expectations can be part of a expectation agreement, and not only talk about what you need the board members to do, but what can they expect from you on the staff side. The minute we start making these assumptions, especially around fundraising, the minute we're in trouble. Because I will bet you that 9 times out of 10, when a board member says that they don't want to participate in fundraising, what they're really saying is they don't want to cold call their friends. And as I've talked about before, that's usually okay. There's other ways they can support fundraising. The third thing we want to look at is you really want to look at the infrastructure of your board. And by infrastructure, I mean, what are those core policies, documents, procedures that underpin and support the structure of the board? Sometimes these structures are out of date or out of sync with where we really want the board to go. And here's a quick example. If you and your board say, we want to grow the board, we want new faces and new voices around the table, we want a board that looks like and speaks with the community we serve, but your board doesn't have term limits, your board has maybe an outdated give-get policy, your board doesn't have really clear documents around confidentiality or conflict of interest, these infrastructure elements are at odds with what you say you want your board to do. So let's make sure those things are aligned and together. And we could probably spend a whole video just talking about term limits, but I'll simply say you've got to have them. You've just got to have them. It's a great, great way to make sure you're making room for new perspectives and new champions on your board. So those are three quick things you can do or think about when it comes to engaging and energizing your board. Of course, there's a lot more we can do together. So if you would like to work on your board and how they support your mission and your organization, if you'd like to work on these things with me, drop me a line. I'd love to talk. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.